What happens, but, like, you were explaining to me at one point about terms and stuff. What happened with that? Because I heard that, like, terms and things started getting used, and then, like, some had to be substituted out due to it being, like, being viewed as offensive. Like, I do know that the term trap is now offensive.
Yeah, that's definitely... Yeah, we don't... I know that a lot of femboys don't use that anymore. Now it's just strictly femboy or MTF. Either one, I think.
I mean, there is a popular femboy that I do know who, if I'm not mistaken, named themselves Trappy Chan.
They did indeed, yes.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Trappy Chan. I think Trappy Chan is awesome. But, like, I was looking at their content and thinking that they were pretty awesome for like, what, the last 2 years that they were on there. It could have been less than that, because I sometimes think that I followed someone for a long time, and I more than likely didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, traps are definitely not used anymore. That's more so used on 4chan nowadays to describe femboys. And men that cosplay as women and do an immaculate job at it. That's usually the term that 4chan uses, and 4chan exclusively nowadays. I think that's been shoved out of the community entirely.
That reminds me of a post that I just recently saw on 8chan, like or 8kun, recently. I happened to be going past, and someone made a post about, oh, man, you see, they were attacking baby furs for some weird reason.
Oh yeah, I remember that. He blocked me too.
Yeah, he didn't block me, but I laughed at his post where he said that he says, yeah. He says it wasn't. He says this community was a better place before the blacks and the. He was like before the. He didn't say blacks exactly, but yeah.
Wait, what did he say then? The colors?
No, he said the N-word, and
oh no!
And then he's just like,
that's worse.
He was like, it was better before the blacks and the baby furs and what did he say? He said about the trans. He says before the trans. He said before the trans, the blacks and the baby furs got here. I was like, wait a minute. How long were you here? Because I hate to tell you this, all three of those things were here before you.
Before you, bro. Before you. Yeah, I didn't even say anything. He blocked me. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm blocked. Yep.
Yeah, no, you get posts like that all the time, and that's why a lot of people are like, that's not funny. It is, because when you realize it is funny, and I'll explain why it's funny. It's not funny because he's insulting people. No. It's funny because
he's insulting people and is woefully uninformed.
I wouldn't even say woefully uninformed, as he is just a fucking idiot. But you'd be surprised. There are dudes that literally go to cons all the time that think like this too.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you remember
when it comes to communities like this? I just don't get how you can come in being cis and straight and think that everyone else is too. I don't get that.
Because you know the cis and straight people were here first. Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure that the first piece of furry art ever made was gay. I can guarantee it.
I was about to say that it's just like, I don't know if you remember this, but when TeddyCon, I think it was like last year, had stated that they were going to do TeddyCon last year, and I made my comment about not wanting them to do it, really, because people were still trying to get on their feet from 2020, and like a lot of people had lost jobs and are trying to get back in the community, and
trying to get their income back.
Yeah, so that they were able to go places. And there was a really funny situation where someone said, "Oh, well, I can't wait to go here, but you know what? That is a really good argument. I don't want this to be a sausage fest." Why the fuck would you care whether it was or not? And I was like, the guys that are yelling about it being a sausage fest, I have to laugh at them. Because those are the same fucking people that go to the con and sit there and be miserable because there's no chick talking to them. I go and talk to everybody. I'm a social butterfly.
Yeah, you're a little too social. Just a little bit.
That's something that I have to talk about by the end of this, because there was a funny situation.
A little too social. I was, when we were in Indy, I was just like standing in betwixt the doorway of the vendor space that was a fucking icebox and the playroom that was actually quite warm. They
had to go and get the fire Charizard to warm that room.
They needed more than that. There was no way you were going to be standing in there comfortably all fucking day. They had an
industrial heater.
They had industrial heaters sitting around the room, and they did absolutely jack shit all.
Yeah, I was confused on why the fuck. I don't know why that room was so cold. I felt bad for the vendors.
Oh yeah, I felt terrible for them. And like, ABU had the high chair sitting in there and everything. I was like, I wanted to get a picture, but like, my legs are out, and I'm also barefoot, so I'm not trying to freeze.
You obviously were.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
And like, I made a joke at a party about that hotel. I was like, yo, I'm mad that we stayed in a hotel that literally looked like it was part of the back rooms.
It did.
Yeah, it really did. It looked like a level of the back rooms.
If you took a picture of the atrium of where like the stage and the pool and everything was at night, you could have put it on the back rooms forum and it would not have looked out of place at all.
It looked like an area of the back rooms. Like, it was so stupid. Like, there was... Like, the hallways even looked like they were part of the back rooms.
Oh, yeah, ambient pictures. Man, damn, I should have took some pictures there. Shit. That would be great.
Oh, what?
Wait, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, we couldn't do that. Yeah. That's why I was like, there's no way we could have.
Oh, well.
Like, that place... I think my favorite part to that was us discovering it was like a 1.5 hotel. And yet they were able to make that work.
They made a 1.5 into a 3-star.
Yeah, and I was very impressed.
It was very impressive, yes.
But getting back to what you were saying, yeah, like, it's like I said before, I can understand how this could be, like, how that can be really difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially like skin tone notwithstanding. Sissy babies in the community in general, they have a, like, okay, I want to be specific. They aren't it's not like they're not represented at all, because they most certainly are. I mean, like, at Teddy, when I was there last, there was at least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And I really loved seeing that, although I didn't have anything to match. It sucked. I was right off of the purge. Sucked. But anyway.
Wait, you had purge? Really?
Yeah, I had purge right before. Yeah. It wasn't something I really wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put that in a separate.
Yeah, at some point, like, the funny thing is that, like, I'm glad that I got my purging attitude done early before I started spending money on this shit. Because I'm not gonna lie, I would be very angry. So... Goddamn telemarketers.
They everywhere these days.
Yo, I swear, they're like Naruto ninjas. They're like,
they just show up.
We have job for you! It's like, what the fuck? Who are you? And most of the time, that shit is a scam.
Indeed, it is, yeah. But, that being said, when I saw them at, like, Teddy, and they had, like, the really cute, really dresses on, and the adorable little heels that were locked to their ankles, that shit was amazing. And that's really what I'm talking about when it comes to sissy babies in the community. It's like, seeing that more often is something that I would really look forward to seeing. And I hope that God willing, we get fucking Capcom tickets. that I hope to see when we go to Cap.
I want to go to Cap, but at this point, like, I don't think I'm making it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to make it, because...
Look, if I'm able to get a ticket, then I'm going.
Hell, if I'm able to get a ticket, I'll go.
I know.
But it's just that, like, when is it again? It's in July, isn't it?
It's the last weekend in July.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's, like, right after
Teco. Yeah.
I can manage it, but I don't think you can.
Depending.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're going to Teco regardless.
No. I mean, depending, because, like, I'm pretty much going to have to pay for our room.
What, for Teco?
Mm-hmm. Like, you and I are splitting it, but I don't know how. I have to see how Queso's doing it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, because I might end up with a lot of stuff for the room.
Same. Probably not, maybe. I mean, I'm only taking 2 there.
No, I mean, like, she might be buying me stuff in order to pay for her portion of the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Back on track, though. What was I saying?
We were...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing that kind of sissy at convention spaces, and even event spaces, period, would be a nice change of pace. I know that a lot of them are in, like, in Canada and,
Canada, New York.
New York.
New York has a... Well, that's actually questionable, actually, because New York has more... I think that I spoke out of turn by pointing out New York, because New York has a lot more just flamboyant ABs.
Yeah.
Than they...
Not necessarily sissies.
Yeah. Because a lot of them are not really feminized, they're just really feminine gay. Mm-hmm. So...
A lot of twinks up there.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's a lot.
Jesus Christ. It's twinks and bears. Like, twinks and bears, literally. I have never felt...
I love the gay community's terminology, man. It's so funny.
Twinks and bears. Twinks and bears. I feel like that's going to be...
Go out to SoCal, you'll find twinks, bears, and flames, oh my!
No, that was Folsom Street East. Folsom Street East was bears galore. There was so many. I was like, yo, it's a good thing I don't have a picnic basket. Like, holy shit. Like, there was so, like, these guys were huge. Do you know who else was there at that, because I think this was 2018, if I'm not mistaken? You would laugh when I tell you this. So, do you remember a while ago there was a guy who was he was a big, brolic, gay dude, and he was in the newspaper because he had passed away after they had filled his balls with silicone?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah. That guy and that contingent of that group was there. Yeah. And I
Quick medical disclaimer from Nurse Mouse here. Do not fill your balls with fucking silicone.
It's a really terrible idea. That there is a dominatrix who actually who makes his subs fucking do that, and I have a problem with that. And a lot of other doms in the community have an issue with that. But
that's a big no, people.
Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely a problem. But getting back to what you were saying.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Canada, New York, some in Philly, and there's a pretty big contingent over in Germany.
There's also a pretty big contingent here in PA. Actually, there is.
They are very hidden.
They're scattered.
Yeah, and it's rough because like they're all over the place, and there's no real like central location that they can all get together. That's convenient, and it's really rough.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love I would adore to meet more people like that. But that being said, when it comes to sissy hypno, that is a topic all in of itself, because it can be woefully transphobic and like fucking insulting even, and not even in a fun way, although I'm sure some people get a kick out of it. It ain't me. There is a lot of it is BBC centrist, and I think that's where that whole reverse race play thing comes in. There's a lot of, like, which is a real shocker, because a wide majority of black men in America are transphobic, and it is a problem. It's a very big problem. However, something that I've noticed in the sissy community and in the sissy kink in general is that a lot of black men are perfectly fine fucking a sissy, which makes no sense to me.
It's there, yeah. No, the idea is that, so I can actually answer on the psychology of this, because this was an actual question that I had in a psychology class. Mm-hmm. But the reason why it's like that is because most black men believe that, like, they are willing to date and just be essentially sexual partners with a woman, right? But they are scared that in the situation of them being with a trans woman or man, it comes to the conclusion that they are now questioning their own sexuality, because they are worried that they might actually enjoy the trans woman more than they would enjoy the
actual.
Yeah.
And I can be completely honest with you and say that in my experience in having these flings and going about, because like I said, I flip-flop between the baby and the hooker, and I have to admit, take the hooker off of that, it's mostly slut. I don't make a dime off of these encounters. I fucking wish I did. I don't.
I personally think you could make money off of it, but that's just me.
Look, get me a pimp. Just give me a pimp.
I gotta go and buy this fucking fedora hat now.
But no, in the encounters that I've had with both black men and white men, and in some other cases different cultures of men, and we've gotten together, we've talked, and then went and did our thing. Every single black man that I had engaged with in this capacity, they approached it with the hesitancy of a virgin. And it honestly saddens me, because, you know, in this world and in this day and age, I'm sick of people having these misgivings about their sexuality and what they want to do with their lives. It doesn't matter to anybody. It doesn't. It doesn't matter to your mima. It don't matter to your mama. It don't matter to anybody. No matter what you stick your dick in and what you enjoy sticking your dick in, it doesn't matter to anybody but you. And if you've got a problem with it for yourself, I invite you to take a moment and work it out with yourself. Because just because you got your rocks off putting it in some pussy, and you enjoyed it far more than you would ever a woman.
Is this a real term now?
It is a real term, I'm sorry. I
know it is, but I'm still laughing about this because of that fucking video that I posted in our Final Fantasy group. Of the Doria going, "Bussy." It's like, what? Write that down.
Yeah, it's really, it really upsets me that a lot of the black men that I have engaged with, they enjoyed it so much, and they had this look of utter shame after the fact. And graciously, I was able to talk a few of them back up to a smile. And then we parted ways, and I haven't spoken to them since, which is a bummer. But they all have had, I would say, a moment with this whole kink and everything. And they don't want to accept to themselves that they are gay. Because I guarantee you, any of them that hit it for like even 45 seconds, if that, sorry black guys out there, you don't last as long as you think you do. Especially not given that I've been on the receiving end. And it's heartbreaking that a lot of them still feel that way even after they've engaged in their fantasy and even after they've had their moment. And I know that post-nut clarity is a thing. I know that post-nut shame is a thing. And sometimes it's something that you can't overcome, even far after the clarity is gone. Because I've already gone through that many a time.
I have too. I've actually gone through that.
And even that post-nut clarity is what caused my last purge. It happens to us all, and it's a fact of life, and it's a fact of how our brains are wired. We look in the mirror after that porno's done, and we're covered in our own little juices.
I was about to say years ago. Granted, I was young back then. I was 18, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to have like a whole collection of ABDL porn that I got off of the internet and the Aries and shit like that. Like that was like from Diaper Gal and stuff like that from years ago. And I remember I had like ABDL stories and pictures that I enjoyed, and I ended up getting rid of all this ABDL stuff. And I got rid of it because I was like, no. I was like, I was ashamed of myself being an AB. Mind you, all the people I'm looking at are like 18 plus, so why the fuck am I upset with looking at porn?
Yeah, and I think that's even more prominent, not just in AB community, but in sissy in general. Not just the hookers, not just the sissy babies, but the whole entirety branch. Because a lot of men, a lot of the people that dress up like that, once they're done, and that's why chastity becomes so important to them at that point. Once the horny's gone, and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you look at the makeup, and how you're dressed and everything, it's a wash of shame that I can only describe as those dreams where you are naked at school. And it's sometimes it's sent me into different kinds of spirals of depression. And it's a widespread thing. It's why a lot of sissies quit their fetish. It's why a lot of ABs quit their fetish. It's why a lot of purges happen. And I have to tell you all now, like, don't do it. No matter what shame you feel at the time, it will pass.
Yeah, the amount of, the idea of purging is stupid to begin with. Because it's like you're throwing away all the stuff that you're just gonna have to go back and get again, and
it's not only that, it's the act of purging, and you feel like, oh, I'm beyond this. I am better than this. I know better than this. I am not a freak.
No, it's silly because you're not a freak to begin with.
And it's silly. Fetishes are normal.
Kinks are normal.
Let me give you all a quick little thing here. I'm sure you've seen the article passed around I'm sure it's passed around the kink circles somehow, but kinks are hereditary. They're passed down.
Oh dear God. I was hoping not to cover this.
Yeah, and I have looked at the research information, and yes, they are indeed passed down. They may not be from your parents, they may not be from your grandparents, or even your great-grandparents, but they are from a line in your family at some point in history.
It's actually kind of funny. So, it's like how I was explaining this at a party that I found out that my dad actually was in the swinger community and had been known in the kink community at some point. I didn't know this until now. I discovered part of this because of when I went to a party in New York City. Someone actually knew me, and I mean, I've lived in New York for 20 years of my life, and this one person didn't know my name, but asked me if I was related to someone who used to be in the community, and I said no, or at least I didn't think I was, and I started to question it. Then I had the conversation with my dad before he passed away, and I'm just like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's where I get it from.
Yeah, but then my mother was the one that actually told me, later on, where she was just like, yeah, no, your dad was in the swinger community at one point. I was like, why the fuck didn't you ever tell me about this? It's one of those things that you just, you don't know. But like I said, you get the shame of being an AB because you think that you're a freak. You think that you're a monster because you're into wearing diapers and playing with action figures or something like that. And you feel like there is no one out there that would understand you. Mind you, I'm out there. There is a community of people who are just like me. Who are just like you. And it's just stupid. It's like, when I never imagined that at one day that I would actually end up meeting a chick who was into diapers like myself. And I ended up meeting a lot of them. A matter of fact, most of which are on the, I've hung out with, who is this? I'll call them back. It's not that important. Most of which are people who are in the community and are vastly knowledgeable into different things. Like, for instance, there's Lolly Lalaz. Lolly Lalaz is very knowledgeable in all the stuff that she speaks about. And not only that, but she is a chick with a diaper fetish. There's Ella Rain, who I consider to be a really awesome friend. She's a chick with a diaper fetish. It's not like they don't exist. And some people end up developing diaper fetishes from being with someone who
already has one.
Yeah. And I find it interesting. I found that fascinating, to be completely honest. But it's like not every person is like that. And as much as I also have had a chick who wasn't into it and tried to be for me, but it just didn't work out. And I told her I didn't want her to pretend that she was into something that she wasn't. And we had an understanding of that. But, like I said, it's not like that there aren't people out there that are interested and are into the same things that you do. That's where that stands.
Yeah, I agree. There's no point in purging or feeling a shame in yourself, thinking that you're the only one and you're the only little freak with this kinky little desire of yours in your head. There's no point to it. Trust me, there's far more out there than you realize. And I think my best advice to get beyond that, let's not call it clarity anymore, because it's definitely not clarity. You're not thinking straight when you feel that kind of shame. When you have that feeling, my best invitation is take a couple, maybe even 30 minutes, and just browse your FetLife or your closest AB social network that you have, or scroll through the Telegram group that you're in that's AB social, AB thing, or even go look for a Discord that is centralized around it, and just kind of engage with the people that are in the same realm as you, and realize that you are not alone, and there's no point to feel like you are.
I agree with that. Hello there. This is the end of the segment. So, couple of messages. Just want to get these out there real quick. Thank you so much for supporting our series, supporting our channel, and supporting the series, and just being really, really awesome. We really appreciate you. I just wanted to let you guys know a couple of things. First, if you're not subscribed, please press the subscribe button down below. It's good to know that there are people that are very much interested. Leave us a like, comment. We always love reading the comments. You guys leave awesome comments. So, yeah, thank you again. Here's the other thing. For the newbies. So, a lot of you are probably here for the Ageplay Podcast a lot. But did you know that we do other series? Yeah. So we have 3 other series that we do here on this channel. It's the Kid Ankh Ageplay, Gaming and Ageplay, which is a really awesome series where we basically just play video games and talk about kink. Majorly topics pertaining to ageplay, though. Then we have the Kid Ankh Playtime live stream, where I play with action figures and answer your questions. Yeah, that's a really awesome Q&A series that really gets me able to communicate with everyone. And last but not least, the Kid Ankh Fat Blogs. This is the series that I started when I first got here. So, this series is freaking awesome. I still love doing these essays where I talk about the community and my journey through it and my commentary about the things that I've learned over the years and what I see, and things that I feel like could change, and things that I can open people's eyes on if they would just look at the different situations. So yeah, 100%. Please, please, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. It really does let us know that you're listening. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all your support and all your help. We wouldn't have made it here 10 years without you. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Bye.